Now, whether Patrick Henry ever said the words "Give me liberty or give me death" is not clear. History teacher I had in junior high said that he never said that. Don't know exactly what he did say though. Now, I am no Sean Hannity fan, and I'm not even a Fox News fan. Um, we try to understand what controlled opposition is exactly, and this has been going on for years. But I do, agree with Tucker Carlson in many of the things that he does put out, and maybe some of the others. Um, I have not always agreed with a lot of the things that came out on Fox News over the years. That were part of the problem. Such as 911, for example. You know, I remember quite clearly. And Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, So while they may have had conservative views and were pro-life stance and all, they were still doing other things, that were for the system. Now, Hannity wrote a book I've been getting since I get emails from Donald Trump.com or org and all. And I don't have money to donate to anybody, so I don't. But I do follow along with certain things when I'm able to, since we are voting for Trump and Pence. Sean Hannity wrote a book similar to what Patrick Henry said. Now, I have not read the book, so I can't give any opinions on it. I'd have to make the time. I have other things that I have to do. But I would agree with that principle. How do you get rid of a evil system government when it's not a republic? When it doesn't, when it destroys the U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights? When it destroys the state constitutions? Well, first of all, you vote them out. Your city or your region or your state can secede from the Union, since the Union is no longer part of the United States if they're under communist socialist rule. If they have dissolved those things, we have the militia. We can overthrow them. We can have a coup. We can do many other things as a united people for those who aren't sheeple. Sheeple, for the most, are bad-willed people. Because even if you told them the truth, they would still, be a part of the system. Like this idiot Alex, who, couldn't back up anything and just called me something. Of course, he looked at, one of my YouTubes. I don't know, maybe he looked at more, but, I got a comment from some moron by the name of Alex. So that's the sheeple for you. Okay? You can't count on people like that to help you. We're looking for the people who want to help us out, want to pick up their ammo and their guns and their any kind of weapon that they have to overthrow our government if it becomes a communist socialist nation. When it happens, whether it's going to be after the election, depending on who wins, in the next year, in the next 4 years, in the next 10 years, for those who are still alive, let's get ready to fight. We will overthrow them. We will die. Many of them will die with us. So many of us people on the good side, the right side, will die, and many on the evil side will die. Many of the cops and military will take sides. There'll be good and bad, and let's hope that we have a majority of the military and cops and others whose jobs require them carrying. Okay, this could be SWAT. Remember, this is going to be a divided country, and it will be brother and sister and mother, and as Jesus said, this is a precursor to it. We can't help other countries. We can still help our country. It's not too late. You've got to be willing to shed your blood. You're going to be feeling some pain. You might get your leg blown off. You might get your head chopped off. You might get a piece of lead going right through your brain. This is all what we may be facing, is what I'm saying. As long as we're alive in this country, and if it becomes a communist socialist nation, they will have you wearing masks over your nose and your mouth everywhere you go. When you're walking in the park, when you're on your bike, when you're running, when you're down on the beach, on the boardwalks. You might get pulled over, by a cop by not wearing a mask inside your car. They might come knocking on your door and say, well, we just want to make sure you're wearing your mask. Well, this can happen. It's already happened. Isn't it good enough for you? If you've already seen all these tyrants in the United States, doesn't that just tell you which way we're going? It's not the right way. And if the American people haven't seen enough, if you're a sheeple and you're bad-willed after what you've seen, because you're so concerned about some damn fucking virus that doesn't exist, you make me sick. You really make me sick to my stomach. I like Jesus Christ said that he will throw you up because you're neither hot nor cold, kind of thing. But we as an American people who want to have our freedom, our liberties. Yes, we're the kind of people that want our cake and eat it too. We're that way. I'm that way. I want my cake with icing, and it doesn't matter, okay? I don't care whether it's a vanilla cake with chocolate icing or a chocolate cake, with German chocolate icing. I don't give a. I'm not sorry. Well, I am sorry for sinning against God if I'm using the F word or cursing. But I'm not sorry for making my point. I mean my points. Now, why do some people cower and back down when they believe in a principle and when they're put to the test? Celebrities, football players, NFL or Major League or somebody in the NBA, for example. If somebody stands up for something, I said I'm against abortion, and then they cower and back down and okay, whatever. Or if you've said something about sodomy is a grave sin against God, and the media is all over this celebrity, and the celebrity makes an apology. You basically sold out to any good that you had from it. You just lost it. If you say something about these unnatural people who live in these disgusting lifestyles, man and man and woman, or switch hitters and all that, and you say something about it, and Hollywood, and social media and mainstream media, attack you. You don't apologize. You have a right to your belief system. I mean, if Homo John and Homo Bob do what they do, that's going to be up to them, but they're going to go to hell forever. And we have a right to say, hey, look, that's against the law of God. It is against the law of God. And I don't have to bring up Sodom and Gomorrah. The God of 4,000 years ago, the God of 2,000 years ago, the God of 1,000 years ago, the God of 100 years ago and 50 years ago, it's the same God today, and it'll be the same God 100 years from now and at the end of the world. And it'll be the same God throughout eternity. His laws don't change. And you better get that in your head right now, that we cannot ever justify what the devil promotes. The devil wants people to be queers and lesbians and bisexuals and all these things about gender. There's only two genders, male and female. You can get that in your head right now. There's nothing outside of there. There are not 50 different genders. There's only one as a man and one as a woman. There are no in-betweens. You are not asexual. You're either male or female. Or otherwise, the scriptures are a lie, and we don't have to believe Genesis. Well, I do believe Genesis. God made man and woman in His image. He didn't say He made somebody asexual in His image. He didn't say He made, chimps or lions or Cro-Magnon man, which doesn't exist, never did. Our oldest parents are human beings. There were no cavemen. There was no 1 million BC or 100,000 years ago. You can't have it both ways. It either is or isn't. There are no missing links. I'm reiterating, what's been said many, many times over. I'm sure you remember the famous trial, the Scopes trial. What's that on evolution and all? It's the same way. I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in dinosaurs. They never existed. Man has an imagination, can make bones the size of these creatures, like a brontosaurus or a stegosaurus. But that doesn't mean they're real. Why is a set of economists, somebody that I know, think, oh, dinosaurs were, but he believed that they were about 10,000 years ago. I don't believe that they existed at all. I believe that you can make bones the size of one and put something together. And like at the Franklin, we used to go down to Philly. Not that far from the art museum. But you know what I'm saying. It was about or the Smithsonian. For those, everybody knows who the Smithsonian is. Not everybody knows what the Franklin Institute. Okay, remember as kids? But they said, oh, a stegosaurus had the brain of only the size of a walnut. Or the Triceratops, right? These don't exist. They've never found any bones of anything more than 6,000 years old. Oh, you might have found maybe 10,000 years old if it was preserved in sedimentary rock. I'll agree with that, but that's about it. When the world was created 10,000 years ago or 12,000 years ago. But you weren't there, and neither was I, but God was. And God made things in 6 days. 6 days is 1,000 years. That's 6,000 years. Okay, man and woman, 6,000 years ago. Man and woman, what was before their time in 6 days, 6,000 years. 6,000 to 6,000 is 12,000. Duh. And, I'm not good at algebra. I mean, I can figure small, simple algebra, but not the other stuff. But if you can't do your plus and all, oh, wait a minute, you got a physics degree. Oh, and you got a master's in the PhD in physics and all, and you believe in evolution. Once it becomes your atheistic principles, as those who believe in evolution, you cannot be both. That's what Hitler and Stalin were, because they believed in evolution. The United States is becoming this godless country that much more, just like China. Now, there are still people attacking the dictator in China, but remember, that pig and the pigs in the United States want to unite and be just like China. And we're not going to live this way. We are going to fight to the death. We will have a revolution, whatever we do have to take. Whatever we have to do. So as long as they can't divide and conquer us, we're going to beat their asses off in high places. And we need to start thinking about this now and what we're going to do. We need to start planning it. Okay? Because they've already made their plans, and we already know all their plans, pretty much. We know. So let's start making plans. I'm not a leader. I'm just a small timer. We need leaders that have the reputation. I don't have a reputation, for example. I'm nobody. But somebody that is big, power, money, can help us out the way we need to be helped. We need those people desperately, wherever they may be. If we can't stop these fuckers, motherfuckers, then we're going to be doing these other things. If you think the rise of the past, in our country, and the rise of this year in 2020 were bad, we're going to make it much, much worse. And we're going to do what we have to do to get our country back. And make it a fucking republic again. The way it was over 200 years ago, you fucking bastards. Suck a wet one. I'll make my confession later to my triune God.